Hello and welcome to our preview show to round 12 of the World Rally Championship from Spain. It is an absolute belting place to go rallying, but Matt, we've got to talk about Wales Rally GB first of all. It was a fascinating rally that turned the championship on its head. Sébastien Ogier and Thierry Neuville separated by just 7 points. Matt, let's go back to the key points of Wales Rally GB, and for me the real turning point was when Tarmac suffered that cooling system failure on day 2.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think before then we'd seen quite a lot of action, but I think, as you say, that was the real defining point of the rally, wasn't it? I think, you know, until that point, Tarmac had looked pretty much uncatchable. I think all his two teammates were completely sort of at loss to how he was producing the stage times that he was. He had a real, massive lead, no real pressure, but as you said, I think there's a little bit of weakness there at the front end of that Toyota. We've seen it before, we've seen it in Sardinia. And it was exactly the same problem. So, there is a little bit of work to do. There's no doubt about the speed, but as we say, a little bit of reliability to work on. So that was definitely a massive turning point in this weekend, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and the difficult thing is, because of the homologation rules, it's difficult for Toyota to solve that problem until we get to next year. It's an engineering issue that's fixated somewhere inside the cooling system where it's fragile. When the perfect storm happens and it's just any slightly knock, it damages the cooling system, and as a result, that potentially has cost Tarmac his championship. Sébastien Ogier on Friday morning had a gearbox failure. The boys at M Sport did an incredible job to change the clutch and the gearbox, send him back out, and he just spent the rest of the weekend clawing himself back up into contention and eventually went on to take the win. It was Sébastien Ogier at his best again.
He was at his best. I mean, he did actually openly admit that he probably was the cause of the gearbox failure. I mean, he was spinning backwards, and as he was spinning backwards, he was on the backup lever going down the box for first gear. But sadly, he was caught between two gears, and actually, when he dropped the clutch, it just exploded the dog ring. So, yeah, he was obviously frustrated, but he did manage it well. He got through the next couple of short stages, got the gearbox changed, and went back out on fighting form. And once Tarmac had gone, he was, inherited the lead, but then he got attacked by another Toyota, didn't he? Jari-Matti Latvala really came on strong, and yeah, there was a fantastic battle then.
It was a ding-dong battle on the final day. Jari-Matti Latvala actually took the lead at one point by just 0.2 of a second. Ogier responded as only Ogier can do, hung on for victory in Wales. Thierry Neuville, meanwhile, our current championship leader, went off the road on Saturday into a ditch, dropped 50 seconds. He did drop down as far as 9th position. Some help from his teammates and some pace in the car that he found meant that Thierry Neuville finished 5th overall. But as I said, it's all to play for in the championship. Let's take a look now how things stand in the drivers' and manufacturers' title race after Wales Rally GB. Thierry Neuville leads Sébastien Ogier by just 7 points now. Ogier has pulled himself right back into the fight, and the pressure is on Neuville to respond. Tarmac drops to 3rd, now 21 points off the lead, with teammate Esa-Pekka Lappi 4th, 5 points clear of Jari-Matti Latvala. And in the manufacturer's title race, Toyota now lead Hyundai by 20 points, with M Sport 24 further back in 3rd, Citroën 4th, yet to break the 200-point mark. So it really is anybody's guess in the championship as we head to round 12 of the series from Spain. Now, it's got a unique element about it. Why? Because it's a mixed surface event. We start on gravel and then we head to tarmac. Matt, that adds a whole new element for the teams to deal with. Explain to us why.
I mean, basically, as you said, we start the day with, well, we start the weekend with full gravel car. So gravel suspension, all the things that go with that, gravel tyres, high ride heights, all them sort of things. But come Friday night, the mechanics have a big job on their hands, and they literally transform them into circuit races. They go from being really high ride height, all the springs are changed, geometry's changed, and then obviously the boys go out on Saturday morning for the first time on effectively with a totally different car underneath them. So it's a unique challenge, and I think it also means that the road position on the first day is really, really important, because we've got these really dusty sort of road cleaning effect stages. But then on Saturday we're into 2 full days of asphalt. So it's a unique challenge, as you say. But I think it's an exciting one, because it adds a totally different dimension. Somebody that's Dani Sordo in particular, that's really strong on the tarmac, but maybe not as strong on the gravel. So what can he do? It throws a real different sort of unique character to the rally.
Sébastien Ogier and Thierry Neuville cannot afford to make mistakes, and it's not just the teams who have to deal with the change of surface, it's the drivers as well. They have to switch their brains from driving on gravel to tarmac, and whoever can do that quickest will capitalise. Sébastien Ogier has won there 3 times. Sébastien Loeb did it 8 times. Last year, the winner in Spain, Chris Meek, it won't be him this year. Who's your money on, Matt?
You've put me on the spot. I really don't know. To be honest, I can't call it. I think there's going to be such strong competition right through. You know, I mean, I even think somebody like Dani Sordo could be right up there, but probably not allowed to be up there because of, you know, needing points for Thierry Neuville if everything goes to plan. So I don't know. There's no pressure on Tarmac now to a certain extent, and I think he could be the one that could, you know, that could win the event.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a difficult one to call. We have to remember we are going to see the return of the king, Sébastien Loeb. Now, he has won there 8 times previously. Well, I don't think he's going to do it this year. You know, there's a lot of rust to knock off. That being said, when he was in Mexico and Corsica, before the mistakes crept in, you know, he was relatively on the pace.
He was really on the pace, and you know, we can't forget he's going to be starting well down the order on Friday, just purely because we haven't seen him at an event back since Corsica. So his road position's really favourable. We know how strong he is on tarmac, so he's going to be in the mix, there's no doubt. But whether he can string it together for a whole weekend or not is another story. So let's wait and see.
Whatever happens, it will be great to see Sébastien Loeb back behind the wheel of a Citroën C3 WRC. It's all to play for in the championship. We're going to have our eyes on Sébastien Ogier and Thierry Neuville in particular. Now, moving on. Things have changed a little bit for me recently. The Red Bull TV producer said, "Chenny, we've got an idea. Let's turn you into a co-driver." "Okay," I said. Little did I know. 3, 2, 1, go. 250. Latish 4 right sharp. 60 small crest into yumpy crest. Late right plus over crest. 150 small crest.
No, you've lost your place. 5 left long. This is 5 left long.
We lost. 5 left long, tightens. Late 4 right plus over crest. 150.
Wait, you've gone too far. Yeah, late.
Felicia late 4 right plus over crest. 150 small crest. 80 brakes. Right over 80, late, latish 4 left sharp over crest, keep in. 3 right long over finish. Well, we made it to the end, and she's straight.
She's straight.
She's straight.
Hey, not a bad job.
Crikey, a whole new respect for co-drivers. Do I pass the test enough to do it in the WRC car?
I trust you just about enough to let you in the big beast. Obviously, the World Rally car is going to be that much faster as well.
Listen, Elvin, you're a legend. Thank you very much, my man. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Cheers, pal. Yeah, what do you reckon, Matt? I wasn't born to be a co-driver, was I?
Definitely not.
It only gets worse from there as well. You can watch the next 2 instalments of that, where I join Elvin in a full-spec WRC car in Greystoke and then do an official stage with him at an official WRC event, and that's one I could not afford to balls up. So make sure you follow that. We will be back in Spain. October the 26th will be our first show on Red Bull TV. Make sure you join us then. Until then, though, from Matt and myself, goodbye. 3, 2, 1, go. 250. Latish 4 right sharp.